Hey, it's Dan. Welcome back. You're watching iAllegedly. And got a good one for you today. Back in Orange County. And thought I'd come by beautiful Laguna Beach for you guys. Because it's stunning. And go by the park and see where the tide's at. But these are scary times, guys. And face inevitable economic collapse and definite problems on the horizon with the economy. And I'm telling you this right now, guys, I won't do it to you, but this video could be 2 hours long. There's so much to talk about in this video. And before I get into it, please take a second. Please hit the like button. Please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget, guys, we have the email list. It's in the link below the video description. And also, if you want more access to me and you want more private content, exclusive content, join Patreon. And people keep asking about the VPN network. The VPN network is a virtual private network that gives you privacy online. And I use a company called Private Internet Access, which is insane. It's incredibly cheap, pennies a day, guys, to use this thing. And they've given iAllegedly subscribers an 80% discount on this thing. And it's absolutely incredible. So the link's below, guys. Take a look at that. But people keep asking me, what's that thing again? If you go online, if you watch my videos, if you are banking, you're trying to investigate anybody or anything, or watch TV, do anything on the internet, you should have a virtual private network to keep yourself safe and anonymous. That's what this does, and there's no equipment. Check it out. So, wow, the tide is really in here, guys. And it's beautiful. There's really no major waves right now, guys. As the tide just comes in. It's just really stunning. And whenever this happens, guys, all the trash gets cleaned up. It's kind of nice. So, son of a bitch. Inevitably, I get hit with these waves. First things first, we're seeing home builders that are having major difficulties getting houses completed. And more people are canceling contracts for new construction. That is a death knell to the home building industry. You're going to see builders continue with price drops and incentives right now to get people to get into homes. It's just inevitable. And you're seeing more realtors that are finally starting to admit that this is a problem. The incentives and the financial incentives are not there right now. You're not seeing, hey, we've got special interest rates. Nobody has any idea what the interest rates are going to be, so they can't offer special financing. If they do, it's limited. It's for half a dozen homes, things like that we found. It's ridiculous. It's nothing. It's not enough to make a difference. People cannot afford to live right now and get by without using financing and credit cards to pay for staples in their lives. That's pretty apparent. Now, in Canada, I got a great story sent to me where in Canada, they just raised, as of August 1st, the minimum payment requirement for credit cards is going to 3.5% of your total balance. So regardless of what you owe, the minimum payment, you have to pay at least 3.5%. And guys, if you have a $10,000 payment, there's no more $20 payment. It's going to go to 350 bucks. So that's substantial. Now, within 6 months, they're going to raise this to where it's going to go to 5%. So can you afford that right now? And there's a lot of people that can't afford that. So with payments of that much, how are people going to, pay their bills? But people have overextended themselves around the globe with too much financing and too much credit cards. That's what's happening all around us. Okay? So I'm going to stand on the steps so I don't get taken out again. You're seeing more and more credit card, more and more companies not accept credit cards. Winco, the grocery store chain, done. We're done with credit cards. You can use a debit card, you can use cash, no more credit cards of any kind as of August 1st also. And that's because they're getting too expensive. We're trying to be competitive with the pricing, and we're not. And in this video, you're going to hear the latest inflation news when they announced it this morning. And, you know, it's nuts because no matter what they tell us, it's not true. You know, I did a little survey with all my friends and business people. What do you think the numbers are? What do you think they're going to say? And what do you think they are? Everybody says inflation's at 20%, okay, that I know, that I've talked to in the last week. What do you think the number is? It's 20%. What do you think they're going to tell us? A lot of people, the majority of the people think that they're going to try to go lower it and say it's 8.4, 8.5%, when it's got to go up because everything is more expensive now than it's ever been. They don't want to use a 50-year number with us. They want to tell us that the numbers are at a 41-year high. And we're hearing this in Canada. We're hearing this in the UK, all over the place. Now, speaking of the UK, Heathrow Airport has got nothing but problems right now with delays and with people flying there and having it be an absolute utter disaster to where people cannot get luggage out of the baggage claim. They're getting missing flights. They're getting on their second flight to the next destination and not having their luggage. Just an absolute disaster. And Heathrow, which people can, it's normally a pretty good airport. Heathrow also came forward today and said, we no longer want to have more than 100,000 people on departing flights. Well, guys, okay, departing flights is everybody taking off. So that sounds like a lot of people. It's not, when they can handle normally 200,000 people a day. But this is where we're at right now. This is how screwed up everything is right now, is that the airports, even in Heathrow, even a London airport, cannot handle the normal crowds right now. Starbucks, I must have had this story sent to me 20 times. Starbucks right now is closing stores for the simple fact of violence and theft. Now, Starbucks did something to be cool a few years back, I think about 8 years ago, and hey, you may be homeless, but you can use a Starbucks bathroom. Okay, great theory, I guess. These people don't buy anything. They just use the restroom as their bathroom and as their closet, and it made Starbucks a place that you couldn't use the restroom because of safety, health, and things like that. And I don't care if it was the nicest city. I could tell you stories about being in Orange, California, working there. And again, I love to go out and use the internet in public places. And prior to the health crisis, I would do it every day, okay? Because I didn't want to sit in some office someplace. Even though I had an office, I didn't want to be there. I'd rather be sitting in Newport Beach, in Fashion Island, at the Whole Foods, looking at the moms and using the internet. It was great, okay? But Starbucks, crime infested. They're closing 16 of these stores because the bathrooms have become drug dens. They've been massive robberies. Now, as we look at these stories, you got 7 of them here in our area, in Orange and LA County, that are getting shut down out of that group. Now, that is crazy, guys. That makes it so that it is. Nobody's out here. But that makes it crazy, guys, to where you can't go to a Starbucks. And again, if you're a female and you hear, hey, this Starbucks is going to close because of crime, you're going to walk in there and get yourself your caramel macchiato or your, almond milk latte. You're going to go do that? No, you're not. So, again, this is insane. This is where things are at, and nobody wants to talk too loudly about that. You get to hear it on channels like this and have people share those stories. But again, when does it end? When will they prosecute these people? When does thuggery become a crime again? Because here in Southern California, when I was a kid, one thing that was cool was a thing called 7-Eleven Day. That's the other thing. We get days, okay? Days of the year. You know, today is National French Fry Day. Nobody knows that. Nobody thinks about that. But if you guys would remind me about that, we'd go have some French fries, okay, on the channel. So 7-Eleven Day, there's a store called 7-Eleven, and they sell something that, as a kid, it's a Slurpee. It's this delicious, drink that's an ice drink. On 7-Eleven Day, they give you free Slurpees. That's 7-Eleven. Now the problem this year, because of the violence and because of the robberies and because people were beaten up in the fighting, they had to stop that and they called the police to that. The story's below on that. But again, when guys, when does it end? When do you sit there and go, enough is enough, this is insane? Now, again, the Fed is a joke. The Fed has lied to us and told us that inflation is at 8.6%. And you guys all experienced 4th of July and summer and food and everything going up the way it has over the course of, you know, the last 2 years. And now we're, you know, fed this new number and it's ridiculous. But when are people going to sit there and say, I've had it, this is just too much? So many people are out right now still telling me that they're looking for a house. My husband and I have saved for 2 years and we deserve this house. Go ahead, you're right, you deserve that, okay? If you want to get divorced, the greatest thing to do is have financial troubles. It seriously is the best thing you can do for a relationship, is to not be on the same page financially. Now, if you're both together and you're both going to go down together and buy a house that's going to drop in value, do it. I'm telling you, what's wrong with waiting 6 months for these people? Seriously. Canada, look at Canada, look at the Canadian real estate and the debacle. Look at the stories that are below. And again, everything I talk about, guys, is based on something that was sent to me or that I get from 50 news sources now, okay? So share your thoughts on all this stuff. I really want to know what you think, because it is nuts, guys. It's getting crazier and crazier out there. One thing that we're going to continue to see in the coming months is businesses go out of business. And let's face it, guys, Peleton has got real problems. You know, they've got rid of the CEO, they made changes. Now they're changing the manufacturing and shipping everything out of the United States. So they're going to have nothing made here in the United States. They just laid off 570 people to do this. Okay? So let me get one more shot of this for you guys. So 570 people get laid off. And the big thing that we've heard about over the course of the last, 2 years is the chip shortage. And what a problem it is for the chip shortage, and how cars can't get completed, boats can't have certain steering devices. I mean, all this stuff that we've heard about that are affected by the chip shortages. Those 95 cars from GM that are sitting there that are not completed. Perfect example. Now, great story below, talking about how we have such an abundance of chips right now that there is no chip shortage. 10 days ago, guys, there's a chip shortage. 10 days ago, I talked about GM, how they can't complete 95,000 cars, but now they said it's like, remember when everybody hoarded toilet paper in the beginning of the health crisis? That's what the chip shortage was like. Everybody hoarded those, and now there's an overabundance.
Does that work?
No one believes it. It's an absolute lie. But believe what you want, guys. Look at how beautiful this is out there. That's stunning, guys. I have a portable internet device. It is the coolest thing in the world. But I'm telling you, you can get internet down there. And I use it all the time. But you want to get away. You want to get, you want to work, but work in a situation like that, that's what you do. Clear your head. There's people out here in the park, hanging out. It's absolutely beautiful. Well, the inflationary numbers are in, and the hits just keep on coming. Dow Jones predicted that the inflationary numbers would come in at 8.8%, 0.2% increase, and they didn't. They came in at 9.1%, which is a full 0.5 point increase on inflation. Now, think about this. That's horrible. 9.1%. We haven't had this since, again, 1981 are the numbers that they're using. The worst part about this is that it doesn't include food, which went up another 1% this month, which is insane. And food's at 5.9%. Energy went up to 7.5% month over month, to a whopping 41% increase. Now that I believe, if we use the stats that they used when I was a kid, you would have inflation, you know, hovering around 20%. This is horrible to say the least, okay? The other thing, the other numbers that came in that they kind of glossed over because the inflationary numbers were so bad were the mortgage numbers. Now think about this. Mortgage applications dropped 1.7%. People are saying, oh, okay, bad. But hey, guess what? Refis went up 2%. Still horrible because it is an 80% decrease year over year from where it was a year ago. The average home purchase price in May was $465,000, and it's down $45,000. It's down 10% right now. So people are not buying houses. Inflation is at, you know, basically an all-time high right now, and things are just getting worse. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. It's going to be a very, very bumpy ride, and we're going to see, you know, an economic crash very soon. One thing that companies try to do over and over again is to have subscription-based programs so that you have to be engaged with them on a monthly basis. And it's incredibly profitable. And the most ridiculous one that I have heard of, and again, this would infuriate me if I bought this product. BMW just announced that they want to have their heated seats be a subscription program for $18 a month. So if you want to have heated seats by BMW, it's going to cost you $18 a month to have those heated seats. That is insane, guys. That's absolutely nuts to have that. They want to have different tiers where you can pay for a year in advance. And if you pay $450, okay, you can have a lifetime heated seat. That's nuts, guys. That is absolutely nuts. Now, what happens when the car resells? Hey, listen, the heated seats aren't included. That's ridiculous, guys. It's absolutely ridiculous. We just faced this huge debacle with the chips and with, you know, electric seats that wouldn't work and things like that we're, you know, people are working through right now. But BMW wants to charge people $18 a month. Now, the problem I have with the Tesla is when you buy a Tesla, guys, you don't own the Tesla. The Tesla's got all these different things that people pay monthly for that Elon just sits there and must laugh his ass up on the first of the month when you are swiping your card for that. So, you know, speaking of Elon, Twitter officially sued Elon Musk today, and they showed the complaint of what they filed. But again, it is ridiculous because what they're saying is that this guy needs to honor his commitments, and when you do work in Delaware, you've got an obligation to follow through with the contract. Well, how about the fact that we provided the numbers and the information that Mr. Musk requested, and there is no way that he should be backing out of this contract? They didn't say that in there. And again, guys, the problem with it is the fake bots on Twitter. That's it. That's the sole problem. And people can sit there and say, oh, he could face jail time because he sold his stock. No, it's not going to happen, guys. It's not going to happen. People hate this guy right now, but that's not going to happen. If I owned a public company, which I'd love to someday, this is one advantage to that, is that you can raise money by selling stock and doing different things. That he disclosed everything and he told everybody. And you should read this because he talks about how, you know, how he just he beat the drum to get people excited and disrupted our management and disrupted our employees. Yes, he did. He did. And you know what? The greatest thing that could ever happen to that company is if that guy buys it. Okay? But he's not going to buy it at $44 billion. It's going to be cheaper. And you guys should negotiate. But again, look at this because it's not on there. They did not provide him with the actual number for the bots. Okay? People keep sending me the Chuck Norris image where it's checkmate, and there's Chuck Norris sitting in front of a checkerboard, and that's what Elon Musk had tweeted out. Mark my words, guys. This deal will go together. It's not going to be at $54.20. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be cheaper than that. So share your thoughts on this. But how about that? If you guys owned a BMW, how about paying $18 a month for those heated seats? Can you buy just one? I really don't like my wife. She's kind of a pain in the ass, and I don't care if she's cold. How about that? I just wanted my heated seats. Can I do that for 12 a month? Share your thoughts. Oh, okay. Share your thoughts, guys. We are living through very interesting times right now. And Bank of America's chief strategist stepped forward late last week, and said, hey, we need a severe recession to slow things down when it comes to inflation. And we need to raise interest rates quickly to get a hold of this. He sees mass layoffs. He sees real problems in the economy, because if we pussyfoot around and take our time with this, it's only going to make things much, much worse. So Ethan Harris is his name. And one thing that's funny is Mr. Harris is talking about how, nobody wants to admit how bad things are. And the Fed wants to get the inflation rate down to 2% again. Guys, it's a dream, okay? An absolute dream. So think of all the problems that are happening right now. And these next two stories, and they're both below, are fantastic. Meta, Facebook. Mark Zuckerberg stepped forward in a meeting early this week and said, listen, if you have team members that are just coasting, not pulling their weight, cut them loose, get rid of them. I don't care what department they're in. Think about that. Think about what I just said. If you have anyone that's not pulling their weight and not doing the extra effort at Facebook, out the door. That is crazy, guys. When have you heard of that? So they're not hiring, but again, nothing is better for a company than firing somebody publicly. Oh, look, we got rid of Ted. You guys are next, man, if you don't pull your weight. Ted's been coasting. You guys know it. Okay? Well, Ted's gone because of that. Nobody liked Ted. Ate weird stuff and showed up late. Okay? And he coasted. Now, step forward to Google, and Google steps forward and issues a hiring freeze for the rest of 2022. And basically said that they are not adding anybody new, and they're cutting departments back and streamlining the company right now. Why is that? They're making so much money. You guys click on those ads, okay? No, it's because they're like every other business, and the writing is on the wall, and they see that they're not making money right now, and that they want to trim the fat while they can. But again, the best thing, the easiest thing to do is not to say, hey, we're just going to lay off 300 people in marketing. No, you get rid of the problems, you get rid of the headaches. So if you or anybody you know is not pulling their weight at their company, the clock is ticking. The fuse has been lit, guys, and the clock is ticking for your future. So make sure that you do what you can do to keep everybody happy at your company and have a sit down. A lot of people aren't, outgoing and won't do that, but I'm telling you right now, guys, you're going to wake up and have dinner with friends, and then 2 weeks later, meet those friends again, and they're going to be unemployed. You're going to see that over and over again. And this is just the beginning of the shenanigans and of the problems with this right now. It's always nice to walk up here and see this stuff. It's just beautiful. So, how do you guys feel about that? I think that interest rates have got to go up a point, at least, to curb this thing. I think that you're going to have to see something done drastic in a huge, huge way. People write me and say, look, Dan, you were wrong about gas prices and oil prices. Gas prices are going to go down, and gas is going to become cheap again. Okay. People keep sending me this date of July 22nd, that's going to be the due-tell date for gas. We will see. We will see. So share your thoughts on all this stuff, guys. I really want to know what you think. And I think it's bad, and I think that we've got nothing but problems coming. And these strategists to step forward from people like Bank of America, get yourself ready. Buckle in, guys, because it's going to be a really bumpy ride. I'm going to finish this video with these last few stories. And the first one is, the crypto exchange, 3AC, 3 Arrow Capital, is bankrupt. And there's only one problem. They want to liquidate the company, but they can't find the founders right now. They are missing in action. And Zhu Shu and Kyle Davies are nowhere to be found. Now, their lawyers say, oh, listen, don't issue arrest warrants. They want to cooperate. This is ridiculous. They'll be available soon. Okay. So there's that. The next thing is Google had a self-driving car that was driving through San Francisco. And think about this. They've got to have so many hours of these self-driving cars so they can document that they're safe. Well, what happens when somebody impedes one of those cars or disrupts them? That doesn't happen, Dan. Nobody does that. Well, in San Francisco, it's a great story where these hooligans and thugs just basically accosted the car, jumped on top of it, hit it with skateboards, spray painted it. Now, there was somebody in the car assisting with the drive to make sure that everything was working. That person abandoned the car and took off for their own safety. That's how bad the group was. Well, again, this is San Francisco, which is hell. And I'm telling you, if somebody wants to give you a free ticket, say no right now. It's just not worth going there. It'll take decades to clean that city up. So the Google car got destroyed by these thugs, which is sad. I mean, it's terrible, all the lost data, everything that happens. But man, oh man, it's funny that this is not bigger news, because again, self-driving car gets accosted. What happens in the future when this happens? If a self-driving car goes to, you know, a disturbance like that, what's going to happen in the future? Now, the final thing is, we've all used these, the self-checkout at a store, Home Depot, the grocery store, whatever. Well, more and more people are getting charged with theft in big cities because of these things. And what I mean by that is, there's a great story below where people think about this. Most stores that you go to, you sign up for a discount program, and you give them your name, and you give them your phone number, and you give them your email address. Well, there's 3 types of theft that happen at those self-checkout stands. The first one is unintended theft, where you just forgot the water bottles that was at the bottom of the shopping cart, things like that. The second one was, you're a degenerate and you're trying to steal from the self-checkout, and that was intended theft. Okay. Now, the final one is, you had no idea that you'd stolen anything. Not at all. Now, this happens in 2 ways, guys, where people are notified by the store. Think about this. Think about how screwed up this is. The store finds out that they're missing drills. So what they do is they check through surveillance videos, and they say, wow, Dan has a drill. Did Dan pay for it? Oh my gosh, he didn't pay for it. He must have stolen that drill. And they notify the police, and then the police notify Dan, and then Dan is charged with shoplifting. And it costs these people tens of thousands of dollars sometimes to get out of this, because they've got to hire a lawyer to get themselves out of that. Crazy, huh? Now, here's the other thing that's happening, is that people are walking up to people's carts that are, you know, distracted because you're using the damn scanner yourself, and they put merchandise underneath somebody's cart, and you push it out the door. And the merchandise is usually expensive, and with this expensive merchandise, you're stealing, okay? Without even knowing. Unintended theft. Now, the problem is that with the stuff that you bought and the stuff that's put underneath there, 3-4 months later, you get notified for that. Is that insane or what, guys, that they're doing this? So share your thoughts on that. You know, when you go to the airport, don't leave your bags unattended. Pay attention when you leave the supermarket now, and the grocery store and Home Depot and larger stores, for this very reason. Please do not forget to hit the like button. Please do not forget to hit the subscribe button. It's a beautiful spot down here, man. It's really nice when the tide comes in like this. Don't forget the email list. Don't forget the VPN company. The link will be below. You guys, everybody, so many people reached out and asked for that. The link is below. It's again, pennies a day, and you can be on the internet anonymously, and it's no equipment. It's very simple. And plus Patreon if you want more access to me. Onward and upward, guys. I will see you guys very soon.